Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In this video I'm going to give you my best tips and tricks to help you rank up quickly in Fortnite. Now these tips are good for either builds or zero builds. So the first tip I'm going to give you here is that you're going to want to make sure that you always have gold when you're playing ranked. And you're going to want to make sure that you consistently land at the same drop spot every time, or only pick a couple drop spots that you're going to use. Now what makes a good drop spot is making sure that A, it has good loot, B, that it has guaranteed heals such as slurp barrels or slurp trucks, maybe an NPC to hire, is it near a forecast tower, is there vehicles that you can drive, and also is it near a good POI with the medallions and a mythic boss that can get to it quickly. Now the reason you want to land at a POI that's not a mythic POI is because you're not going to get a lot of points for your off-spawn kills anyways. And if you die, you're going to lose a lot of points. So now why you want to have gold is so that you can use things like these vending machines to get heals. Don't be afraid of the storm, because as you see here I'm in the storm, but I'm just using flow berries and shockwaves to be able to just move out of the storm quickly. I'm not going to die in that storm because I have heals and no one's going to be looking for me there. You can also use your gold to buy weapons or mobility items off the NPCs, as well as sometimes they sell things like rifts. Now another thing people don't really know about ranked as well is that if you capture the island in ranked, you get points. And it also gives you points in tournaments. And same thing goes for the forecast towers, as well as knowing where storm is the whole game is going to help you have a higher chance of winning. Learning where the underground locations are as well is a very good idea, because all these locations have the weapon crates in them, which are all going to guarantee you at least blue rarity, but you can even get purple or even sometimes legendary items out of these. Now, especially if you're not a person who wants to go and fight the bosses at the mythic vaults, this can be a very good way in order to get some really good loot. Now, if you are a player who's confident in their fighting and you do like to go for the vaults and get the mythic weapons and to fight the boss to get a medallion, it's probably the best idea to show up when someone else is already fighting the boss so that you can easily third party it, because you don't want to be the person who's getting third party to pick up an easy elimination by doing so. But just do keep in mind, if you do have a medallion, everyone's going to be able to see your location on the map, so you're more likely to get pushed by other players. But once you have a medallion, you will regenerate shields slowly over time, and it's also the keycard to the vault. Now the vault's jam-packed with weapon crates, some free gold for you, there's always a legendary chest, some ammo, and it has the mod benches, which you can pay 75 gold per mod in order to upgrade your weapons, in order to give you an advantage over other players, and make sure you have the weapons the way that you like to use them. Now always make sure that you do keep your wits about you when you're trying to go into a vault, because a lot of times you will find players ratting or hiding out, waiting for you to do all the work and kill the boss, just to try to then sneak up on you and take you out. As you see here, this guy ended up shooting Suntan Specialist, not me, so I had no idea he was there. Here's another example here of a player being a dirty little rat. You see, he's hiding down there at the bottom of the stairs, waiting for me to go with the medallion to open up the vault. But luckily for me, I had the Scout Specialist NPC, so he ended up scanning, so I knew he was down there. So I hope this shows you how useful it can be to actually go and hire an NPC, even in ranked. Now some people say they don't like hiring them because they give away their position, but if you're going for medallions, people are going to know where you are anyways. Next, we're going to talk about when you should engage in a fight in ranked, and when you should not engage in a fight in ranked. So right here, I see that this guy just got into a fight, the person who had the medallion. Now, he's obviously weak because he's running, so I choose to shockwave and chase after him here. But this guy was a smart player, and he ended up jumping in a car to get away. So cars are really great because they provide you with mobile cover. Now, in this clip here, I was coming up on fencing fields, and I seen all these builds, but then I realized on my map that there was two circles because there was two players with medallions here fighting. So in this case, I opted just to say, you know what, I'm jumping in this G-Wagon and I'm out of here. I did this because I didn't know anything about what those players had, where they were. They were already busy fighting each other, and you get way more points on where you place in the match sometimes than you do for actually getting kills. You'll also notice that they did shoot up my car a little bit here, but I didn't take any damage and I can always swap to another car. Now this next tip here is going to be for people who kind of get stuck in going up in the ranks. So let's say you've been playing really passively a lot, and you mainly just play zero builds, because I usually just play zero builds, actually, and I'm not the greatest builder, as you'll probably see here. Don't laugh at me too much, guys. But yeah, anyways. So if you are getting stuck in ranking up in zero builds, because you've just been playing passively, as I was saying, You can always go play builds ranked and just go to W key and fight everybody. Because if you don't care about your rank and builds, you're not going to be nervous. You're just basically going just to try to just take out everybody you can and just push people. And you'll be surprised how fast you actually will be able to rank up in this mode. And that'll get you used to fighting. And again here, this is all about disengaging fights. So this guy was a way better builder than me. So I just, you know what, Storm's here, I'm out of here. So I built up some walls here, and I was waiting to see if maybe he'd come up and I could get a good beam on him. But I see him start shooting the snowball launcher here. I said, you know what, I'm out. Now this next part's going to be about when you should be pushing fights. So here I come up on this player here, and they were hitting some slurp barrels, and they immediately started running and building and trying to get away from me. So and also because they're hitting slurp barrels, I'm going to assume that they are not at full HP. And I also had a riot shield, so I'm okay with pushing this. Now you see they start throwing some clingers at me, so I can keep my distance until another one. So then at this point, I just ran right through it, and I figured, you know what, they have no more clingers left. This is going to be an easy kill for me to get. And boom, just like that, back to the lobby. And now here, I end up getting a couple early shots in of damage on this player here with my shotgun. And they immediately also started running, and because this was in builds, I don't have an overshield, so I said, you know what, 60 damage, max 200 health, I'm going to push this. And once again, easy elimination. Next up, I'm going to do a player in the water here, so we get into a little fight. And I decided to take this fight because it's pretty easy to kill people when they're in the water, plus they're also in the storm. And I also had flow berries to get my shield back up, and 2 floppers, and there's tons of heals around here. I always try to take fights that I know I have a good probability of winning, and I want to try to avoid the fights that I think I'm not going to win. I also knew this player had at least 1 battalion, and I wanted to get them out of the game because I figured they were probably one of the better players, and I knew they would also probably have some pretty good loot. Next here is an example of something you probably should not ever do. So this guy had the high ground. I just started to shoot at him with the shotgun. I probably actually should have just built up there or used my grapple blade to get up. Or even used an assault rifle or an SMG, something like that. Well, let's see how we did there, and I came in 10th place with 3 eliminations, and it seems like I went up from 54% to 90, so that's 36%. So next we're going to talk about decisions you have to make in the moment when you're playing. So here some guys started shooting at me when I was on the zip line, so I quickly jumped down, and they beat me really good. So I quickly built up some cover and just chose to shockwave away because I had no green heals, and the only thing I had to get my shield back up was the battalions. But now I end up jumping down right into this guy's builds here, so now I have no choice but to fight this. And I quickly noticed and heard the sound of a clinger that went off, so I quickly had to just switch over to my shockwave to bounce up to avoid that. Now I want to finish this fight as quickly as possible, because I know that other player is still nearby, the one that just shot me when I was on the zip line. So after I finished that fight, I made a really big mistake here, because there was a big pot there, and there was also a sniper rifle I probably could have made use of. But instead of building up some cover and using that big pot, I chose just to keep moving, and I ended up getting a really good beam here when I was repositioning, and I ended up getting shot here again, and I finally built some cover, which is what I probably just should have done from the very beginning. So it's very important that you learn from the mistakes you make in the game if you want to continually get better at the game, and that you realize there was a better decision that you could have made in that moment, which would have gave you a higher chance of winning. So next, this other player here obviously thought that I couldn't hear them because they were crouch walking. So that's another mistake not to make. Don't think that you're completely silent when doing so, because that was just a really easy elimination for me to pick up. But then I made a mistake here because there was a med pack that fell down there, and I should have just repositioned immediately and built cover to try to get that med pack because I really needed it. And the storm was coming in, so I chose to run out towards where the one shot just came from, and that was GG's for me. But for that game, I did end up ranking up from 90% of Gold 3 all the way up to 52% Platinum 1, which would be a 62% increase, coming in second place with only 4 eliminations. This is because your placement points in Fortnite matter so much more than a lot of people actually think. And you also get a bonus for being consistent in your games. So you're actually going to rank up a lot more if you're coming in like the top 10 for a lot of your games, with only like 1 or 2 kills, than if you're dropping high kill games but placing randomly all over the place every single time you play. And this will bring you to the very last tip for this video to help you rank up fast in Fortnite, And that it would be to play more tournaments, because when you play a tournament, your rank is not affected if you die or anything like that, but you just gain points towards that tournament. Now, especially these ranked cups are very good because you can play as many games as you want in 4 hours and go against players that are the same rank as you. And this will really help you learn how to fight in that particular rank that you are in, making you a much better fighter. Now, I hope this video helped you to improve your gameplay in Fortnite and to rank up much quicker. If it did, let me know in the comments down below. And consider subscribing because it helps me out the whole time. I really appreciate it. And drop a like on the video. And I'll catch you next time. Big Papa Smurf 187 out. Have fun gaming. Cheers.